Banana.
All right, here we go. It is game number 2 of the semifinals between Just the Usual and Team C2. Like there for a second against Team C2. Game number 1 was won amazingly by Team Just the Usual after an amazing game. I really am just still in shock about how amazing that game was, but a great game nonetheless from Just the Usual, who ended up winning, and we are going to be going into number 2. It is a best out of 3 series, and this is the semifinals, so whoever wins this one goes into the finals tomorrow. Whoever loses goes into the bronze bracket. That's coming up tomorrow as well. You can see the full, by the way, you can see the thank you. That's kind of awkward. You can see the full brackets online at esportsmonthly.com as we're getting closer and closer to the finals. The finals start tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and then there's Mountain Time, right? Mountain Time, that's like always noon. They never not have lunch. That doesn't make any sense. Come on now.
No, it doesn't. Some of these bans really don't surprise me at all. Cassiopeia being banned out. Cassiopeia did some amazing work last game for C2, and the Nidalee ban. No surprise there either. That AD Nidalee was doing some work. It's kind of funny how AD Nidalee once upon a time was sort of a cheese build, and now it's the standard way to play Nidalee.
Well, it is. That's a standard way to play Nidalee, but also AP has been making a comeback too, which is kind of crazy in the European side. I can't remember. I think it was Against All Authority has been running AP Nid top, and it has just been absolute terror because of the counter pushing and also the amount of damage with the spears and the poking. So, and we see a Warwick pick. It looks like right away for Team C2, which wouldn't be surprising. They had a strong Warwick last game. He fell off a bit late game, which was kind of surprising for Warwick, but he definitely played a strong and really influenced that early game, so I'm not surprised by the quick Warwick pick. Are you alive, Fourth Oracle?
Yes, I am. I'm waiting for the picks.
We are waiting for the picks from Team Just the Usual.
Okay, there's no surprise there.
We have seen Janna picked every single time for Team Just the Usual so far. An absolutely strong, amazing... Oh, maybe... Urgot. Yeah, that's one thing that we didn't see. We usually see an Urgot ban out of Team Just the Usual, and it looks like maybe they'll actually take Urgot.
Yeah, Urgot got some popularity from Hanover after 2v1ing a lane and winning it. That was incredible to watch. Usually when it's a 2v1, you just say, okay, I'll go even and hope for the best. But in that, he just won it, and yep, they're going to go Urgot. They may be doing that 2v1 bot lane. That would free up Janna to start ganking. That would be really strong. Well,
they do have a Janna. The Janna roaming is strong. I mean, it's not as strong as maybe an Alistar, who has the hard CC, not necessarily just the slow, but he has the knockup and the pulverize. So I'm not sure we'll necessarily see a roaming Janna, but that Urgot can play a lot of different places really well. Urgot's one of those champions that can succeed mid lane, he can succeed top, also bottom, AD carry. So it'll be interesting to see where they play him. I think the one place that you can't play him, or shouldn't, and I highly say don't, run him in the jungle. And there's the Graves pick. You were hoping for the Graves pick with Soraka last time.
Yeah, I was. I thought it was going to be a really good pick against Janna. Now, this is interesting. Urgot has extreme range, while Graves is really good once he can get up close. This might be a mistake if Urgot decides to go bot lane with Janna, because Janna's going to be able to make sure Graves just stays away the whole time. I generally consider Janna a counter pick to Graves, because she does such a good job of shielding any buckshot that comes out as long as she's maxing that first. She can keep Graves at a distance with the slow and with her tornado and of course her ultimate. And Urgot is going to be able to play off of that really well.
I agree with you. I'm a little bit surprised by the Graves pick just because of exactly that, the range. I do like the Soraka pick. Now, you were talking last time when she picked Soraka that Soraka is a strong, strong support, and having Soraka to be able to heal against that harass from Urgot, I think is going to be able to help him. I still don't know necessarily if I like the call. I don't know if I like that play. We might see Urgot really take advantage of Graves, and we see possibly a Mundo pick.
Let's see. Mundo, 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 Mundo.
You're scaring me, man.
Mundo!
Someone's got to check your head.
I love Mundo. Mundo, Mundo.
Right now, Mundo has, and this is actually surprising, Mundo actually has the fastest clear time of any jungler at 3 minutes and 20 seconds if you play him right, faster than Udyr even. So that's why we've seen a lot of Mundo in the jungle, because of how fast that jungle is, and his abilities to gank aren't that strong, but his jungling abilities is up there, and especially with that early game jungle being so important, it's not surprising to see the Mundo pick.
Mundo.
It looks like actually Chris is going to grab Smite and Exhaust. So we might actually have a Mundo running Exhaust, which would be pretty amazing. That'd be a pretty dangerous jungler coming out of the jungle with his cleavers and an Exhaust.
I wouldn't be surprised by it at all. Exhaust is a really good pickup. He can ult for the extra movement speed. He has the cleaver, and even if he misses the perma-slow with his cleaver, he's got Exhaust. I think that's a wise pick.
Absolutely, I agree. And
Tryndamere
is going to be a tough pick. Tryndamere is still a strong champion, not picked nearly as much, and of course the most rage-inducing champion of anyone. But with that in mind, he is still a strong pick, grabbing Cleanse and Ghost possibly on him. We'll see if that's what they actually decide to run. But I'm not sure which team comp I like better out of this. A lot of really risky choices. Karthus is a strong AP mid, but he's risky. Let's face it. If Karthus doesn't get fed well, he can end up being more of a detriment than anything. I mean, he does have his ultimate that he can use, but he needs to have a good early game. And with a Vlad inside, Vlad I think is a strong pick against Karthus. I kind of like that pick.
Just the Usual is running a really strong poke composition. I mean, Vladimir would have been good for a poke, but Bran will be even better. He's got his AoE that has a really good range. Urgot's going to have his range, of course. The cleavers will do a lot to take down people that are still at high health. Never underestimate the damage of the Mundo cleaver.
No, don't. Well, it takes out percents of health, so...
yeah. Percentage damage
strong.
always deals damage in percentages.
Right, that's very strong when you can deal damage in percentages.
But they also have Gangplank to keep them away. He's able to provide a little bit of poke, but of course his ultimate is a really strong deterrent to an engagement as well. Going to be able to slow all of them down. Going to be able to slow down anyone that's trying to engage. On the other hand, we have C2 with a really strong engage comp. This is sort of the opposite of what we were seeing. Last time we saw just the Usual running a really strong engagement, while C2 was running a really good, pokey, kitey, win by keeping our tanky people up front and our damagey people in back, and we're just going to do that. Now we have just the Usual going for a poke comp, while C2 goes for a hard initiation. If they can get Tryndamere and Warwick up there completely ripping through everyone, that's going to be really strong, because if they can catch Urgot, they can catch Bran. There's some really nice, delicious targets in just the Usual, and really easy to prioritize, because you want Urgot dead and you want Bran dead. If they can get Bran before he can get his burst off, that's going to be really important to see. And I could see Tryndamere doing it. Tryndamere just spinning in and smashing him into oblivion.
Absolutely. I'm with you. I don't necessarily know if I like one team comp better than the other. I will say that we have seen so far Team Just the Usual, who's on the right-hand side of the screen. They are very strong when they have champions that can displace other champions and that can take advantage of somebody being put in the wrong position. Urgot does that with his ultimate. You've also got the ultimate from Janna. So I think I'm going to go ahead and give it to Just the Usual just because we have seen them and what they're able to do now. Last game, outside of the ending of the game, Team C2 was doing that, except better. They were doing a really good job of picking their team fights wisely and playing them smart. So it'll be interesting to see what I don't know if I necessarily like one team better over the other. So we're going to have to see in the long run. Really quickly, before we get back into the game, I just want to introduce everything. I want to introduce myself and who I'm casting with to anybody that just joined us. This is League Monthly, brought to you by Esports Monthly. It's a tournament that happens once every month, and I would really recommend, if you have a group of friends, if you have a team, go ahead and join it. It's free to join. The brackets go up, I think, a week before, not the brackets, but registration goes up 2 weeks before the tournament actually is going to take place. All the details are brought on esportsmonthly.com, and you can find out all the details right here. esportsmonthly.com. Follow them on Twitter and also here on twitch.tv. And then while you're at it, follow me on Twitter. I'm at regards_casting, and I'm also on YouTube, youtube.com/oneregards, where you will be able to find all of the video on demands for this tournament and previous tournaments that I have casted. So check it out. And also check out my good friend here, Fourth Oracle from Dirtnap Gaming, who's got all sorts of cool things coming up for Dirtnap Gaming. You can check them online at dirtnapgaming.com.
Yep. I've been thinking about the team compositions while you've been talking, and
you never listen to me.
I've been listening to you, and I appreciate it. I love you, regards.
Go on.
No, it's tough, but I think I got to give this one to Just the Usual. They are so good at positioning and getting people where they need to be. Something that a lot of people underestimate is the ability of Brand's ultimate to force people where they want them to be, because if Brand's ultimate is chasing someone, they're going to have to run away from the team fight so it doesn't keep bouncing, and that's going to remove someone for a good amount of time on top of all the damage that it did before they were able to get it to fizzle, if they get it to fizzle. I can really see Brand doing a nice counter initiation if Warwick tries to jump in, or Tryndamere tries to jump in. Ooh, they do have Demon Blade Tryndamere, and that's going to give them a really strong team composition boost.
That's going to give them a very strong high five boost.
Don't ever high five Demon Blade Tryndamere.
No, that's probably a bad idea. That's probably a good call not to high five him and probably chop your hand in half.
I really think that Just the Usual has the advantage here, because Janna has a really good counter initiation. Mundo can slow, like, the big thing about it is what the harass can do. Mundo's harass can slow, Urgot's harass can slow, Gangplank's harass can slow, Brand can stun with his. I can really see Just the Usual grouping up, sieging towers, and just taking them one by one.
Nope, I absolutely agree. I will say, though, that I think C2 has the advantage just because of their skins, and we all know that not only Demon Blade Tryndamere, but Grey Wolf Warwick. Oh, boy. I don't know.
I'm surprised. It's a recolor, but it looks really good.
It looks really good in-game. I am, as somebody who likes to play Warwick, I'm jealous. Not gonna lie. Pretty jealous.
You're jealous.
So we're hopping into game here. All of the items are being purchased. Of course, we see wards and potions and cloth armors and boots and all sorts of fun stuff getting purchased right away. We're going to see Mundo hit the jungle with a cloth and 5 pots. Not too surprising. And we're going to see Warwick start. Last time he started with the same. He started with a longsword and a potion. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how Warwick withstands to Mundo. Mundo has the fastest clear time of any other jungler, and if played right, Mundo could really do some damage invading.
So we're seeing they're both just sort of playing defensively. They don't want to give this up. Right now, Just the Usual, of course, has the game advantage, and they do not want to give it up. Looking at the level 1 team fight, I really like Just the Usual's better. But right now, I guess they just want to play defense, and that makes a lot of sense.
I'm a little disappointed that we're not seeing Battlecast Urgot out of Raging Cunning. I'm going to go ahead and say that.
I'm just happy to see Urgot.
I don't know what's going on mid, but it looks like Karthus and Tryndamere are like moshing together.
Demon Blade Tryndamere is dry humping Karthus' leg. Was.
I don't know how comfortable I feel about all of this.
Neither do I. Yeah.
Ping's starting to go off, and this is something I actually saw since Hanover as well. You see that all 3 champions, Gangplank, Mundo, and Brand, were all sitting at entry points for the jungle, making sure that nobody was making their way in there, and they're not. And it looks like Mundo might possibly go for a quick early gank. Mundo is taking A stab at the Wolves right away. I'm kind of interested what Mundo's running for runes in Masteries. He does not have any spell penetration, which is something you see kind of often when it comes to Dr. Mundo, just because all of his moves, they don't scale on AP. They do scale. They are, magic moves. They do scale on magic penetration.
Now look at that. Mundo's getting a huge leash red buff. Really going to help him get there faster. If he can land his cleaver, he's going to be able to hit with red buff and do massive amounts of damage before the other person is even able to get there. Let's see, we didn't really talk about the lane compositions that much before we started. Yeah, we talked about bot lane. We thought that Urgot was going to beat Graves and Soraka.
And we see him laying down some of his acid hunters and able to do a good amount of damage onto Graves. I'm kind of surprised Mundo didn't necessarily go for an early gank top against Tryndamere. He's just going to decide to farm up his jungle right now, make his way over to Wolves, which his Wolves were taken. I believe Brand had taken them maybe for a little bit of an early gold and EXP advantage. No, excuse me, it was Urgot and Janna that ended up grabbing it.
Oh, that's pretty wise. I like that idea.
Well, it's kind of a similar concept behind grabbing the golems,
mini golems,
if you're on the blue side, so I guess it's not necessarily too surprising. But I agree with you. It's interesting to look at the lineups here right now. I think Karthus may beat Brand.
Wow, look at this. Mundo is level 4. You were talking about that 3-minute 20-second clear, and he is the highest level character in the game right now. That is impressive.
His clear is so fast, and he's just able to clear out so much, and he makes his way back right away to grab boots and a ward right away, which is going to be strong, especially for top lane. You see him starting to make his way towards top lane. I'm sure he'll pick up the golems here, but maybe also lay a ward down for Gangplank, which is going to give Gangplank the added security of that top lane. Yep.
Yeah, right now we're actually seeing a really passive early game. Usually just the usual, like these strong, early, aggressive ganks, but right now they're just sort of biding their time, and it makes sense. They want to get farmed. They want to be able to have that poke damage eventually, so they can just start sieging towers.
Mundo is in mid right now, and he is sitting in the brush. It looks like Brand wants to get that stun off, is not able to get the stun off, so Mundo will back off and decide not to go in or anything. But yeah, it is a pretty passive early game so far, which is a little bit surprising, but at the same side, we were talking about how much of a poke composition both teams have, and so while it's surprising, at the same time, they're both very poke intensive. Oh, and Mundo's going to start to make his way down inside. He lands a cleaver onto Karthus. Karthus is going to land his wall. There's the stun off on Karthus. Karthus is going to fall to Mundo, and that is going to be first blood for just the usual, a strong Mundo gank. And Mundo's actually going to walk right into the face of Warwick here, who is sitting there, and he's going to lay down his Burning Agony. Look at the damage he is doing onto Warwick. That is amazing, and he's going to throw a couple of cleavers. I'm surprised Warwick flashed out of there. He wasted his flash, but on the same token, Mundo still has his exhaust up, and so I guess it was a good play.
Yeah, burning that flash from Warwick, if he is able to find Warwick again, Mundo, his damage is so strong from his masochism. It gives him 40 attack damage for 5 seconds. And look at that, and I forgot about that. He gains more attack damage from it based on how much health he was missing, and he was really low. You saw how much his auto attacks were doing this early on to Warwick. He was beating Warwick in a 1v1 at this point already.
He wasn't just beating, he was he was destroying Warwick 1v1 with that with those attacks. And I mean, that's just so much. When you can lay that down, you can get at least 70 extra. Excuse me, not. It's interesting. He's leveling Burning Agony first, but 40 extra on top of it, over 100 attack damage. I'm surprised he's grabbing Burning Agony first. I don't think I've ever seen this. Right now, dealing about 70 extra damage around him in an AoE. Usually I see Mundo start off with Cleaver or even Masochism just because of the amount of attack damage he gets out of it, but instead leveling first his Burning Agony.
He's going for that quick clear time. You saw because he was able to clear the jungle so quick, he's able to just sort of camp out mid lane until Karthus got into a position where he could throw out that cleaver. And people underestimate Mundo's ganks. If that cleaver lands, there's not much you can do to get away from him.
No, absolutely not. Look at the amount of damage that was taken off on Karthus' life with a Pillar of Flame from Brand, and Brand is doing a good job of just bullying right now that Karthus. Karthus, I would have normally thought to win the lane. However, Karthus is just doing a great job right now. Brand is doing just a great job of harassing the Karthus. Now, we will see level 6s coming out of mid and top lane, so don't be surprised if we see the Gangplank ultimate pretty soon, or also Tryndamere going in at somebody. Bottom lane is not quite there yet, so we've got level 4 onto the supports, and look at the amount of damage the Acid Hunter does from Urgot. Oh my goodness. Takes out almost... more than half. Oh, and look at there at blue buff right now. There goes the Gangplank ultimate, and Warwick is going to fall to Mundo. Mundo in a bad place though right now. Gets hit by the wall of pain from Karthus, and Karthus is going to start to make his way over. Look at that. Mundo is making his way back, and Brand is in the area, and Mundo is going to be 2-0. What a flash. Uh-oh, here comes the ultimate from Karthus. Is it going to be enough? And he lives! Mundo lives with 40 health left, and that is also going to be the blue buff. And right now, just a beautiful start for Team Just the Usual.
Mundo dies when he pleases, and it is not now.
No, it is. It's very rarely.
Wow, that is some really aggressive play from Mundo, and he can do it. He has no mana. He doesn't have to worry about his mana when he tries to engage. He can just do it. Oh, wow. Right now, though, we have Tryndamere chasing down Gangplank. Right now, Gangplank has been forced to burn his flash, but Tryndamere is doing a lot right now. He still has his ultimate up, hasn't even popped it. Pawn Gypsy is just running for his life, juking out through the brush. He's doing such a good job. Tryndamere just keeps tanking these tower bolts. Wow. I can't believe it. He survived.
I am shocked that Tryndamere didn't use his... I'm shocked that Tryndamere didn't even use his ultimate on that.
Yeah, he didn't need to. He just barely survived by popping his Bloodlust stacks.
Oh, we've got Warwick coming in here. The red buff is getting taken. Oh, and it is smited! Warwick with a great smite. I'm kind of surprised Mundo didn't have... Well, he didn't have his smite up right now. Mundo's going to land a cleaver onto Warwick and back out of there. But, man, look at how much that Burning Agony is doing to that camp and how fast he's able to clear it out.
Yeah, losing that red buff is going to be really bad for Mundo, though. Good idea from Warwick, being able to plant that ward there at red buff, saying, oh, red buff is such a huge part of your ganking. Alright, I guess I'll just take that then.
Mundo in the vicinity of mid right now, but Karthus is having nothing of it with his wall of pain. Warwick is sitting in the bush, and they do know that they are going for blue buff, and so we're going to see a bit of a skirmish possibly here around blue buff. We do have Mundo and also Brand in the area. Warwick is coming through. Warwick is starting to come through. Brand already has a blue buff. Uh-oh, Brand could be in a very bad position here. There goes the wall of pain, the ultimate from... Oh, and Tryndamere is there as well. Brand is just not going to be able to survive. However, the ignite and the passive damage possibly onto Karthus, will it be enough? No, it will not be enough. And that will be a dead Brand. Great heads-up play from Team C2, able to take out Brand. And that was a big, big kill. They needed that.
Yeah, that was a really strong gank. That's going to give a lot of dragon control right now. Warwick is falling dangerously low. Here comes the Gangplank ultimate, really helping them out. Gangplank is here to finish off Tryndamere. Tryndamere is going to have to pop his ultimate right there. Wow, good timing from him. Graves is there to support them, though. Gangplank is able to pick up the kill on Tryndamere anyways, though, just as ultimate ends. And now, where it first looked like C2 Dragon, this is going to be turned right around, and Just Usual is going to be able to pick it up.
Yeah,
just about for free here.
What a great play from Team Just the Usual, as they were once again doing a great job with their map awareness. Gangplank starting to make his way down, and Mundo is strong. I am surprised. You know what? I am going to have to rescind everything I say about Jungle Mundo, because I always thought that he was he's good. He has a fast clear time, but what does he provide for a team? Oh, and Soraka in a very bad position right now. Soraka is getting taken down by Urgot, and there's just no way that she's going to be able to survive this. One Acid Hunter, and she's dead. Yep, there goes the Acid Hunter.
Jana picks up the kill.
But a bad positioning right now for Janna, who's getting chased. And there's the flash! It's a failed flash from Starmie! A level 100 Starmie falls to a... I'm bad. As that was a failed flash from Janna, and Janna is going to fall. Picking up the kill in that one was Warwick. Warwick right now, the only kills right now for Team C2. And what I was saying was that it was just a great heads-up play. Mundo is so strong with his cleavers and is able to duel. He reminds me a lot of when people used to underestimate Lee Sin in the jungle and try to duel him one-on-one. And it's just like, what are you doing? Don't 1v1 Lee Sin in the jungle. He's got sustain, he's got the slow. You're not going to come out the better end of this one. And it's kind of the same with Mundo. Mundo's starting to make his way in towards mid. There goes the cleaver. It does hit onto Karthus, and he's just going to kind of, hey, what's up? Here's a cleaver. See you later. That's kind of basically all he was doing.
Enjoy my cleavers.
Uh-oh, Warwick is coming into the area here. They are going to see him, and he is going to get greeted by a Brand ultimate and also Mundo. And there is the ultimate from Warwick onto Brand, and Warwick is still alive. I'm amazed how fast he stayed alive. Right now, Brand is fighting underneath the Karthus, and there's the flash. Great flash from Brand. Is he going to have enough life? And, oh, he dodges the ultimate from Graves, but he dies to the Karthus ultimate. And that'll be a kill for Karthus. And there's the ultimate onto Soraka. Soraka, there's just no way she is surviving that. Wow, what a great play from Just Usual once again. And they're going to further their lead right now. 7-4 the kill count in favor of Just Usual. They also have about a 3K gold advantage.
I think that Brand made a huge mistake there. I'm not certain why he popped his ultimate, because if he had waited until Karthus was in range, he could have just popped it on both of them, and it would have bounced between those two.
Oh, absolutely.
And he may have been able to get out of there without dying, making it a 1 for 3. But I guess he just decided to pop it earlier. Oh. Still coming out in just the favor as usual, but it could have gone even better.
I'll take a look at the items that have been picked up. I'm always interested in how Urgot is built, and it looks like he's going to pick up a couple of quick Dorans and a Brutalizer. So he's not going to go the route of the Teardrop and Manamu. He's instead going to go for even more attack damage, armor penetration, a little bit of lifesteal, and cooldown to help him out. He does grab a quick Merc Treads. Brand is going to go the route, it looks like, of Rayleigh's, as he does grab a Giant's Belt right off the bat with all the gold he's accumulated. He does have 2 Dorans and also an Amplifying Tome. Karthus, on the other hand, going the route of Rod of Ages. He's got his Catalyst, and he also does have his Blasting Wand.
Yeah, Raw Ice is a really common item on Brand. It works really well with him. He's able to deal a lot of damage in that AoE. He usually ends up hitting everyone in a team fight, so that means he's slowing the entire enemy team. In the meantime, we have Mundo up here looking for a ninja gank onto Tryndamere.
Oh, we see a ping going off, and Brand getting a kill on Karthus, 1v1. Warwick was in the area, however, he did not get there fast enough, and we are going to make our way back out towards top as Mundo is still sitting in that bush there waiting for Tryndamere to make just the wrong move.
No, he decided to back. Wow, that was just really strong from Brand. I didn't see that coming, but of course Brand's burst can never be underestimated.
Look at the amount of harass Urgot's able to do. Oh, and he switches the route of his Acid Hunter onto Soraka. Soraka, there's the ultimate onto Soraka. Soraka's in a bad place right now. Brand is going to just, Graves is going to continue to do damage onto both Janna and to Urgot. It is not enough, though. Urgot right now is very tanky with his 2 Dorans, and just nothing coming out of that. And I am amazed at how well this Urgot is playing right now.
Yeah, Urgot has his core early game item right now, Brutalizer. That's going to increase his damage output by a lot. Look at that. 3 Acid Hunters taking him down to almost a quarter HP. This Urgot, he's doing really well. 109 CS compared to Graves' 98. He's winning lane, but more importantly, he has those items that he really needs. And this right here could be a kill onto Graves. There's the slow. Oh no, he's out of mana.
Yeah, I was like, where's the Acid Hunter? No mana. The ultimate from Janna is in there. There's an Acid Hunter. Is he able to take it down with the auto attack? He is able to take it down with the auto attack. He's in a bad place right now. Warwick is starting to make his way through. Warwick will not pick up the blood scent though, and looks like he's going to get out of there all right. But great pickup from Urgot right now, who is 2-0.
So I just realized Mundo is 4-0. Look at that.
Mundo is so strong right now, and Chris is playing him, pardon the expression, but like a boss.
Well, Mundo is literally going where he pleases, picking up the red. He is going to have the timer on that. Warwick is just going to have to watch him waddle away. I guess that's revenge for Warwick taking his red before.
Right now, Team C2 is doing a good job of sticking in there, and you do see a turret fall. That is the first turret of the game, and it is going to go in the favor of C2. Look at the damage output that right now Tryndamere is putting onto Gangplank, and with the amount of sustain that Tryndamere has, he just doesn't care if he exchanges blows. He's like, I'm just going to heal it back up anyways. And Tryndamere able to grab that first turret, though, and pick up some global gold for Team C2, and also make that first turret happen.
Yeah, I'm not certain that... was it Gangplank that was picked against Tryndamere or vice versa?
I believe it was vice versa.
Okay. So, yeah, that was a really good pick. There's really not much that Gangplank can do about Tryndamere. Early on, Gangplank was doing well, but now that Tryndamere has hit, you know, this sort of level 10 area, once he hit level 8 and 9, he was doing a lot better. Just completely beating down.
Gangplank in a bad place right now. He gets ulted by Warwick right now. Tryndamere's in there as well. It's a 3v1. Gangplank is trying to get out of there. He uses Raise Morale. There's the Ignite onto Gangplank. However, they're going to have to back out because the rest of the team there, the Cavalry! The Cavalry is there! And there goes Mundo with his ultimate in there. Tryndamere is in the area. There goes the Brand Pillar of Flame. He is going to use his spin to win out of there to get to the Baron Den, and there's going to be no exchange between the two. But man, oh man, a bunch of people getting very close to falling. Gangplank, also Brand, but there will be no exchange. Should be noted, though, that Brand did pick up his Rayleigh's Crystal Scepter this early in the game. That's going to be a big help to him. Like you said, a very core item on him.
You see the wards, so we finally have a chance to look at the wards. Just the usual has wards exactly where they want them to be again. They lost ward control last game, but obviously they're not going to give it up this time. And no oracles coming out from C2. They knew that Just the Usual loves their wards, but there's still no oracles. Actually, Soraka, does she have enough? Soraka does have enough. She might be going back soon to go ahead and get that.
Oh, look at the damage from the Acid Hunters onto Soraka. Soraka is just getting harassed. Now, I don't know if it would necessarily be that great of a call to buy an Oracle right now. Dragon does go towards Team Just the Usual. I think the reason they might be waiting on buying it, especially on Soraka, is right now Soraka is dying a lot. Soraka right now is 0-3, and she would probably lose it, and that's super valuable. You don't want to lose the Oracle, so I have to imagine right now Soraka is not getting an Oracle for that very reason.
And we saw that Mundo and, let's see, I think it was Brand, they just picked up Dragon really quick. There are no wards from C2. They have no wards. The only ward they have on the map is by raids, by the enemy raids.
Look at Brand dodging the lay waste from...
they have one by Rush.
The lay waste from Karthus, and he's just jumping back and forth. Brand still farming. If you look at Karthus right now with 112 CS, Brand at 159, so Brand definitely winning the CS fight down in mid lane. Urgot with 153 over the 120 of Graves, so Urgot also winning. So right now, it's really Just the Usual who are doing a great job of winning the lane.
Yeah, Urgot, though, is much more geared toward early game. So, Graves may scale better, but Urgot is winning lane hard enough right now that it may not matter. Especially if they try to go for that sieging that I fully expect to be happening any minute now. They've gotten far enough ahead that they could probably group up at a tower, poke them down. Brand is doing a massive amount of damage now. He has his Sorcerer's Shoes, 2 Doran's Rings, and a Rayleigh's Crystal Scepter.
Uh-oh, Karthus in a bad position here. He's going to have to flash out as Mundo is in the area.
I don't know if I agree with that flash. I think he was fine. Mundo couldn't have really gone for that.
Well, Mundo probably could have. Mundo did have his ultimate up, so to tower dive with him is a good idea. Although Warwick right now in the area, and he's going to lay down his wall, and Warwick is not going to have anything to do with it with Mundo in the area. Mundo is pretty farmed here, remember. He is 4-0-2. He does have a Heart of Gold. He also has a Kindle Gem and a Phage. So that means right now...
Well, look out top. Gangplank is almost dead. I think he dropped to 1 health.
And Mundo right now is on the chase for Tryndamere, and I don't think he's going to be able to catch up to him. Instead, he's going to sit down and farm as we see Pink starting to go down a bottom lane. Janna has picked up her Oracle.
Tryndamere has just been hard pushing top this whole game, and he's been so safe. He's beating Gangplank so hard. There's just nothing that pirate can do about that raging barbarian. I wouldn't be surprised if Tryndamere just decided to go top and keep pushing as the hotshot GG style. Wow, mid lane though. Karthus has been caught. The Brand ultimate is out. Looks like he's going to go over. There's the flash. There's the ignite. There's the Q. And yes, he is going to fall to Brand's passive combined with ignite.
Also, very, very good play from Janna. The ultimate from Warwick did come onto Brand. However, Janna was there, able to lay down her ultimate, so he wasn't able to take that much turret damage. So, great heads-up play from Janna as well. And it looks like Janna's starting to make her way up towards top. I wonder if she's going to try to maybe do something to this Tryndamere up here, who is so far, like you said, just really been bullying this lane. Oh, and Tryndamere is going to see Janna. Tryndamere does, by the way, have his Wriggles and his Phantom Dancer, so he is hitting a lot of crits. He's got armor. He's got a lot of sustain. Yeah.
I don't think that even Gangplank combined with Janna would be able to do anything right here.
No, Tryndamere right now is very evasive. He's got his ability to spinning slash his way out of, through any walls in case he needs to get out of the area, and also mocking shout, slow some people up if he's got to get out of the area. So Tryndamere is very, very high mobility champion, and I agree. I don't really think there's too much they can do. Oh, he does get hit by a cleaver though. Right now, bad position. Warwick, Karthus, and oh, there goes the Warwick ultimate onto Janna. Janna taking a good amount of damage. She's gonna have to flash out of there. However, Brand is just doing a lot of AOE damage onto Tryndamere and Warwick, and they both get hit by his passive. Both fall well under half health. It's not gonna be able to pick up a kill. They are gonna start to make their way and ward up Dragon area though. I have to imagine Dragon's gonna be coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, we saw Brand is really just laying down the pain and the CC with that icy hot patch they threw us on the ground.
The icy
Gangplank did a good job pushing top there. Top tower's finally starting to take some damage while Tryndamere was distracted bot lane.
Oh, Mundo kind of coming in, taking a little bit of damage from Graves. However, he's going to back out of there.
Mundo goes where he pleases.
Graves does have his oracles, and Graves, or excuse me, not Graves.
Oh man, bot lane. Wow, Graves is falling really low. There's so many heals coming out. Graves is still at half health now. Here comes Karthus ultimate to assist them. Urgot is falling dangerously low, but he does have the Acid Hunter out on Soraka and Graves. Graves is falling dangerously low.
We've got Warwick.
In the meantime, top lane, Tryndamere just completely destroying. Oh my gosh! And now bot lane, Urgot was able to finally take down Graves. No real surprise there. Graves stuck around just a little bit too long, and Urgot's poke damage is just so high right now.
Absolutely. Tryndamere right now is, if anything, keeping C2 alive, and look at that. He is going to be pushing this top tower. He's going to back his way out of there. Brand is starting to come up, but right now, Tryndamere, this is where Tryndamere shines. A lot of people say Tryndamere is kind of your high, heavy, late-game carry, but I disagree with that. Tryndamere late game isn't that good because he can get bursted fast, and yes, of course, you say he's got his ultimate, but he can be CC'd in, he can get CC'd, and then when the ultimate's over, it's done. But, oh, bad position right now for Tryndamere. Tryndamere is going to have to use his ultimate. I don't think he is going to be able to get out of here. Instead, he turns around onto Brand. Brand is going to fall to Tryndamere. Tryndamere is still in the area. Tryndamere will finally fall to Dr. Mundo. And that was just a great heads-up play from Ninja, who's playing Tryndamere right now.
Yeah, that was a really good decision. Started running, realized, wait a minute, I'm not going to survive this even if I try to run. I'll just get a kill out of it and get even more fed. Tryndamere is at 195 CS with 3 kills. That's sitting pretty. He's going to be able to be a strong force mid-game, being able to take those dragons really quickly, take Baron if they decide to take it. This is prime time for Baron. Both teams should be thinking about it around this time.
Absolutely. We are about 25 minutes in. It looks like an Oracles has been purchased for both teams, so I mean, I agree. Mundo is also king of taking buffs because of the ability to take out percentages of health, so I wouldn't be surprised necessarily if we do see some wards going down in the area. The support's starting to make their way up there, trying to clear out wards. And we'll have to see. Soraka still has not picked up an Oracle. Soraka, at this point, is 0-3-2 still. Does have a lot of pink wards on top of the green wards, and does have 2 gold per 5. So I have to imagine we'll see an Oracle pretty soon for Team C2. We are going to see a dragon fight pretty shortly here.
Yeah, C2's moving in. They're just going for it as fast as they can. They have the damage for it. Warwick and Tryndamere laying down massive amounts of pain. Karth's Q also doing a lot. That dragon just fell so fast there was no time for just the usual to react. at all.
That was amazing at how fast C2 was able to take that dragon, really saying, if you're going to be out of position and the dragon's going to be up, that's the important. That's right there, the importance of making sure to have the dragon timer. Oh, and we see Pawn Gypsy on Gangplank taking down the top turret, so that is going to be a pretty big pickup for Just the Usual right now. And Tryndamere might be in a bad place. Mundo hitting with the cleaver. There goes the stun onto Tryndamere. However, here comes the cavalry again. The Gangplank ultimate, not enough. Excuse me, Mundo is going to fall to Karthus. And the ultimate from Brand is also not going to be enough, as taking some damage, but not necessarily enough. And it looks like mid-turret's going to start to get selected here.
In the meantime, Gangplank just decided to push top some more. I think they really could have used him in that fight. Rather disappointing to see.
Yeah, they are going to need him, but I mean, one of the things about Gangplank is you are going to be able to snowball him into late game. He is somebody who can carry late game. And I'm assuming that's what they're going to want to do with Gangplank. Gangplank, who has an Infinity Edge right away, not Tankplank, but we're going to instead see a lot of damage out of him with the Quick Wriggles and also Infinity Edge on Gangplank. So there's probably going to be a good amount of damage coming off from Gangplank in team fights.
Yeah, most definitely. Gangplank does a really good job of just picking someone and sticking to them. This eye edge is sort of strange. You usually don't see this sort of thing because he has to build tougher. I think it's more common to see like a Frozen Mallet and Atmos, or an Atmogs just straight up.
Right.
But this time it looks like he's not. He's going for that strong poke, and I keep seeing these things that are showing me that Just the Usual wants to try to siege a tower, but they just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, you can tell that they want to build for the team fights. That's the route that they want to go. Gangplank, who wants to do a lot of damage, let Mundo do a lot of the tanking for you, and let Gangplank build tanky, or let Gangplank build a lot of damage. But like you said, we just have not seen those team fights happen yet, and it's about time. I mean, we're getting 30 minutes into the game. You definitely are going to need to make something happen.
It makes sense to me, though. Just the Usual does not want a straight-up team fight. However, they do want a straight-up tower take. They're just going to take this tower however they like it. Yep, there it goes. They're finally getting that mid. Don't even need to siege for it.
Well, at this point, Graves and Soraka are bottom, so, I mean, why not? Graves and Soraka finally starting to make their way up there, but a little bit too late on that one. They will have the ward down there, so they will know that they are coming, and Mundo is going to sit around the area. Oh, here comes the team fight. We see the ultimate onto Brand. Janna with her ultimate getting him out of there. Loopiness on Brand is going to be able to pick up the kill onto Tryndamere. Also onto Warwick. Beautiful team fight. Gangplank picking up the kill on Karthus, and that is exactly what we are talking about getting those team fights in for Just the Usual. What a team fight, grabbing a quick 3-for-0 kill. They also got the turret, and I have to imagine they're going to pick up another turret here. They still have plenty of health left. In fact, they could probably dive this if they wanted to.
That team fight definitely went differently than I would have expected, because Just the Usual caught C2 completely out of position. Graves was off on the side, and he had to back off. Oh wow, he's just gonna get dodged. That Janna slow is gonna make sure. Oh no, he almost gets caught. He's able to dash through that Janna slow. Good job on the part of Graves, and of course Soraka, keeping him healthy. But I think the reason they lost that was because Graves was out of position. They didn't have that line. Like, C2 needs to draw the battle lines, and they just didn't there. They allowed Graves to sort of be off to the right, while the rest of the team was off to the left. And Graves, in order to survive, had to completely back off from the fight. That's why it was at such high health before he even was able to fight at all.
Well, it looks like C2 is going to want to take their chances at possibly picking and choosing where the fight happens this time, as we do have a Baron fight in the process. Tryndamere falling dangerously low, even though he does have his ultimate. This is not where you want to be if you're Tryndamere. Oh, look at the damage going up onto Baron. Baron is going to fall low. There goes the smite onto him. C2 is going to pick it up. Gangplank cover, picks up a quick kill onto Karthus. Graves grabbing the kill onto Mundo. The ultimate from Karthus is going to pick up a double kill on Brand and Gangplank. And right now, Urgot in a bad place. That was a great call from Team C2, who just annihilated Team Just the Usual. However, there were 2 kills, but that's the power right there of Karthus. Karthus was dead, but was still there for the entirety of the team fight because of his passive.
Yeah, C2 got exactly the sort of engagement they needed. The previous team fight, they didn't have it because Graves was sort of off on the side. They couldn't draw those lines. And that, though, they baited Baron while taking it. Just the Usual really wanted to try and poke them off of it, but because C2 has so much sustained damage, there's just nothing they can do. That damage was too much. If they had a different team comp, and C2 took more time to take Baron, then they would have been in a better place, and I would have given that to Just the Usual.
Look at the amount of damage that Mundo is doing right now onto Graves. Warwick is also in the area, and how much he's able to tank with also the Gangplank ultimate being laid down. Like you're saying, though, just great positioning. That is exactly what C2 wanted.
So yeah, this is definitely not looking good for Just the Usual. That being said, both inhibitors are bare, but both of them are still up.
There's more health left on the one for Team C2 right now. They have a full inhibitor, whereas Just the Usual has a half inhibitor. But we've seen this, and this is the thing. We've seen the team fights go both ways in favor of C2 or Just the Usual. Right now, both teams are pretty close to each other. There's about a 3K gold advantage right now for Team Just the Usual. However, the gold advantage right now definitely is in favor of Tryndamere. He has 10,000 gold, 10.5. The next closest is Gangplank with right around, actually Brand has about 11 right now. So Tryndamere is pretty decently fed. We see the ward starting to go down. We do have most of Just the Usual in the area.
Wow.
It doesn't look like they're going to decide to fight it. See how fast that melted?
Dragon melted.
Oh, this is going to be a bad situation right now for Team C2, actually, who are coming in. They're coming uphill, and you never want a team fight uphill. Cleaver landing onto Tryndamere, and they're both threatening.
Yeah, I was surprised Tryndamere almost was able to catch Urgot there. Could have easily killed him, but I guess he didn't want to risk it. His ultimate is up right now. It will last 5 seconds.
Uh-oh! The cleanse! What a beautiful cleanse! And now Tryndamere is starting to make his way in.
Quicksilver Sash.
Excuse me, the Quicksilver Stash. Oh, and there goes the ultimate from Mundo. Mundo, however, is going to get ulted. And there goes the damage. Mundo going to fall to Graves. And this looks like it's going to go in the favor of C2. Excuse me, no, Ninja is getting hit very hard here. Ninja is going to fall to Urgot. And right now, it is a complete chase. Urgot is going to take Tryndamere. Graves falls. Graves takes out both Brand and Gangplank. So right now, Graves is nice and fed. And here comes the Brand ultimate. Is it going to be able to take anyone out? No, it is not. Urgot almost falling. But another team fight going in the favor of Team C2.
I think this may be GG, and I'm not really surprised at all by this. Just the Usual had that poke composition, but they were never able to utilize it. C2 was able to just engage whenever they liked, thanks to that Tryndamere spin. Yep, there goes Urgot. Even with Guardian Angel, he's gonna fall right here. Yup, wow, melted. And that is probably gonna be GG. Yup, there it is.
Well,
GG, well played.
It was the game number 2 of the semifinals, and Just the Usual took game number 1, so this is going to go into a game number 3 to decide who goes on to the finals that are going to be played tomorrow right here on Twitch TV/LeagueMonthly. So GG to Team 2C, who took the first loss of that was the first loss of the day for Just the Usual, the former winners of this tournament last month.
Yeah, I think that game was really decided by the team